Well, uh, hello there. Good night. And good night to tekking101. Since I do watch um, your video about the Bleach tag, um, I kinda decided, since in the end of your video you do kinda make a overall tag on the subscribers, viewers on your channel or on the Bleach fan base on the overall on YouTube, so I kinda decided to make a answer to your overall and general tag relating or related with Bleach. So uh, this is my Bleach video tag response to your own Bleach tag video. So if I understand um, how this works, there were 10 questions that you try to answer through your video. So I will also be doing it. So the first question, if I'm not mistaken, was who, who was your favorite Bleach character? Or who is your favorite Bleach character? Hmm. Well, I'm kinda in the same dilemma that you had when answering to this question, and probably I will follow your own lead on this. So I will go and will say my favorite Bleach character from the several groups. So from the um, human world, well, I must say that probably my favorite character will be Ishigo. Um, from the Soul Society side, mm, that is quite hard. Um, I do have a lot of characters that I like in Soul Society. So probably I will say Kenpachi Zaraki. Um, from the Hueco Mundo, without a doubt, my favorite character always was and continues to be to this day Grimjo Jagger Jax. From the Visors, um, I kinda think that Kensei probably is my favorite character from the Visors. And now from the Stern Readers, that is not hard. My favorite character from the Readers is Yuaba or Yawak, how you like to pronounce it. Uh, Now the second question was, what is my favorite arc so far? Well, I probably must say that so far, um, or the arc that is being my favorite is this last one, the 1000 Year Blood War. Because I like the way the story was portrayed. How Tite Kubo is trying to tie up the plot holes in the story, or attempting to do. I particularly liked that Zaraki finally was able to hear out his Zanpakuto spirit. I also think that was amazing what he did on the Everything But the Rain openings, and show in us the background of Ishin, where Ishid came from, and such. That was quite interesting. And besides, the Stern Readers are, from what we have seen so far, the Stern Readers are quite crazy. But they are excellent from what we see so far, in my opinion. They are a far better group as antagonists than the Arrancars were, so I will say this arc, the current arc. Now, the third question is, what was my favorite fight? Hmm, my favorite fight. Hmm. Well, I have a lot of favorite fights in Bleach. Um, but I must say that probably the most intense fight that appeared in Bleach so far, um, was the battle between um, Ulquiorra and Ishigo. So, well, I will say that that was my favorite fight. It's not the only one, but in terms of the characters, Ishigo, Ulquiorra, the meaning behind it and such, yeah. Ulquiorra versus Ishigo. Next question is, what is my favorite opening? Well, from the, I think they are 13 or 14 openings, but my favorite opening so far is the third opening, that was present in episodes from 52 to 74, I think. And I like a lot of this happening because, well, it kind of add metal, and I love metal, so that's probably the reason why I love that opening. Besides the fact that is at the end of that opening we see Ishigo going Bankai when he was fighting Yakuya for the first time, so that was quite epic, epic moment. So the third opening. Uh, what Bankai I'm looking forward to seeing the most? Uh, well, I do have two favorites. Um, and but I will say that probably the new Bankai of Ishigo. That's presently the Bankai that I'm more curious to see how it works, since Ishigo now possess dual blade Zanpakuto. So I'm quite interested to see how Bankai work it, and since each Zanpakuto represents one side of his powers. His all Shinigami powers for one side and his Quincy powers from the other side. So I'm quite interested to see if when Ishigo goes Bankai, could this be that he will be able to access both abilities at the same time? He will create a hybrid technique with Shinigami Oli powers and Olo powers and Quincy powers. Um, so probably at this point, that's the Bankai that I'm most interested in to see how it looks and what powers it brings. Next question was Aizen or Yuaba. Uh, well, probably I will go for Yua, because Aizen was a great villain, was, but he it kind of gives the feeling that he was more talking or monologuing with himself and much more full of himself and his own powers than Juha. And even in terms of plan, we you could give it to Juha because the guy take 100,000 years to plan his revenge against all society. So that means something in the terms in the psychological terms of how Juaba works. So and it's not a guy that he goes straight to attack. He goes straight to the killing and to the distraction. So that's how a villain or a great villain should be. So I will say Juaba. My favorite line or quote. There were several good quotes, but I will probably refer this one. That was a quote that Juha said to LunarSpiral and Ivan when they returned to the Van der Reich Palace. And I think that this goes along this line. How many times do I have to tell you? I will not tolerate petty bickering in my presence. Conflict does not please me. So, and then he pops up the head of Luther's Frigand and then he kills off Ivan. So that quote kind of represents the essence of a great villain. He does not care about his subordinates. Uh, and if they fail doing the job that was assigned to them, they were disposed of. And also, it's the great irony of Jua. He says that he loves peace, but he is actually doing war and a war of extermination. So I think that this quote kind of represents how Jua is and how a villain should be. So probably this will be my favorite quote. Now, my favorite Bleach soundtrack. In that way, I think that I'm going also with your opinion that it was on the episode when Ishigo returned to Karakura Town after training in the Dangai Precipice world, and and when he enters the fray, that music, that epic sound, and then the continuation with Ishigo kind of grabbing Aizen to the face and kind of flies out with him. That the soundtrack of that episode, the several soundtracks were so far for me the most epic of all in the Bleach series. Um, so, next question. The next two questions are on terms of personal uh, issues. So the first one is how you got into Bleach. Well, I think this begins when I was at the university, but I only actually started to read the manga in a more daily to daily basis or weekly to weekly basis, probably in 2007, probably around that time. I did sporadically did read some chapters, but and did and also watch some episodes, but from 2007 onwards, uh, I began reading and watching the series and the episodes, and I started because I don't remember exactly how I started, but I remember I was once I was drinking coffee with a couple of friends at the university, and a rookie kinda appeared in the bar, and one of my friends was kinda his godfather, but not in a mobster sense. And this guy liked the anime, and then he started to talk with my friend about anime, and I did know something about anime and manga, but not much. And the talk actually ended up a big part of it. I think it was about Bleach, and then I became curious. And since I did know the series, even if I did not read it on a daily basis, I kind of started from that day onwards to try to catch up with the series and the manga, and then continually following Bleach so far to this day. Um, so why and I will not use the term love here because I personally believe that words like love uh, should be only applied to our family, to our close friends, or to our loved ones. So um, I will answer in this. Why I like Bleach? That's well. First, I do study in terms of personal interest. I do study Japanese history, and I'm quite passionate about Japanese history. And I'm also quite fond of the Bushido, the Code of the Warrior. And I did read some books about it. And besides, I do love katanas, without a doubt, and the samurai spirit. And I'm a huge fan of Shogun Total War also. um, but besides these points, I think that the concept of Bleach is interesting because I'm also a person that believes or thinks a lot about what will happen when our life on Earth ends, basically when we die. And in that regards, I do strongly believe in the cycle of reincarnation, and that our body and our presence in this life, in this earth, is only a passage, because the true essence of ourselves resides inside us, what we call our soul. And I do not believe that when our body dies, our soul will die also. Instead, I do believe that the moment our body dies, our soul finally becomes free and became able to communicate or with God, or the essence of God, the supreme energy, the creation energy that engulfs all in the universe. And eventually, when we end up our earth cycle, we will return to our essence, that is being part of that light, of that energy that is universal and is at the center of all creation. So, since Bleach in a way kinda mixtures Japanese theme stories, the samurai code and honor, and also dwells in what happens to our souls after our body dies, I think all these aspects were reasons why I'm quite fond and I like Bleach a lot. So I think that's it. So if I do understand how this work, now I will need to tag in the list three persons. Since you already make a video, the Elites also make a video, the Charles is an World also make a video, Shinigami X also make a video. And I think that Green Okami will also eventually will make a video. So from the three tags from my part, I will tag first and foremost a female reviewer called LunarSpiral 1127. Uh, you are tagged in this video about Bleach. I will tag a young guy that I do like to see his piano intros, and he got talent. Kuna 9613. And I will also tag AnrikuZero. So that's it. So stay well, peace, and tagging. Thanks for your overall tagging, and that's allowing me to do this video about Bleach. Stay well for you, and hope all stays you stay fine. See ya.